Hey guys, I am so happy with how this has turned out. I've made a couple of little tweaks since we met this morning, and one of them that I hope you really appreciate because I know you're a little bit unsure about proceeding with the material palette. What I've done is I had two different wood tones going before. I had a darker wood here for all of our stained grade wood trim elements, our big beams and whatnot, and a slightly different tone here for either the shingle or the cement fiber, whatever this is, shingle material this is going to be. Those were different colors before. Now I've made them match, and hopefully seeing that will help you feel like those are more maybe one material tone. We've got this honey-colored wood tone for our beams and our columns and for our shingles. And then I'd like to say, I also almost kind of feel like I know you're unsure about whether or not you want to go forward with the green roof or go with a gray roof, and I understand that. I mean, we can come back to this, but I want to say that what I see with this standing seam metal roof, whether it be green or gray, they're both so gray. When I squint at my screen right now, they sort of look the same color as this dark gray painted board and batt material, which also has some ribbing to it. So we've got this sort of ribbed material that's a dark gray material that goes up the wall this way, and then the ribbing continues up the roof too. And so I almost feel like these two materials here, this roofing and this board and batten siding, almost kind of feel like one material family. Certainly there's a lot of different materials going on here, but that feels like one. And then the wood is another. And where the metal roofing is on top of the siding, I kind of feel like it's all the same. And that's why, I feel like making the chimneys here for the plumbing vents out of the same siding, we talked about how that's meant to make it recede and fall away from the eye. Because it's the same, in my mind. Or at least it's very similar. But then we get some pop and some contrast where we've got either the green or maybe the gray roofing popping on top of the honey color. Like, I love this little volume, this bedroom and bathroom volume here. I think this is so very handsome. I love this color palette. I really do. If you want to explore some others, certainly we can, but I'd have no problem seeing this built out like this. This is very soothing. So I think, I'll stop ranting about the color palette here. Let's keep touring some of the other elements that we talked about this morning. So we've got these new brackets happening at the entry columns here, where this roof here has a 7.5 and 12 roof pitch. This has a inverted 12 and 7.5 pitch. So it's sort of a 90-degree play from the roof there. I kind of like that feel a little bit. It's not quite 90 degrees, but it's pretty playful. I love approaching your front door here and having my eye drawn up through this long gray room and seeing what eventually is going to be a very beautiful ceiling. What I've got in the model now, it's too placeholder. It's too rough to really highlight, but still, regardless of what those beams finally end up doing, the wood slope ceiling that runs continuous from the entry all the way back to the kitchen back wall, it's just so great. And I know that we talked about the privacy of these windows. I would expect that you probably have some sheer curtains on the back side of these front windows to protect your privacy. Same here with these two windows above this bedroom's bed wall. Here we're seeing some lamps on top of the nightstands. Certainly you'd want to put some privacy elements over these windows too. But this is so exciting, isn't it? I really love the cutout at this lower roof element. So special. Okay, let's go around the corner now. Past the side gate here, we see the flex room doors. The side-by-side 3-car garage. single door here, or single window here for the bedroom on this side. I love that proportion. I feel like that's just perfect. See the shed dormer up here for the great room. And I think when you're down here in the play court, you really don't get a chance to really see that other roof up there. It's kind of blocked from view by the other roof. It's not until you're well down the street that you really see that roof element because it's so far back. Your neighbor will see it. But I'm not concerned about it. No one's standing up here looking out of these high windows down at their backyard. So there shouldn't be any concerns about privacy there. Here's a little shot of the ADU. Let's take this placeholder fence out for now because I don't expect you to build that yet. So this is kind of what it would feel like day to day without that fence put in. And another version of what's happening at the front entry with a little bit of timber work that's meant to evoke some, being in the forest, being in the woods. This could go a lot of different ways, of course. We can explore that later. Right? Planning department's not going to care about the exact angle of this entry feature. It can tweak. We can change the angle, the size of it. So don't get too hung up on that. But let me know if you like it or if you want to go with something that's a far more basic. Just a very simple post and beam system, or if you like something that's a bit more playful and ornate like this. It's not too ornate actually, but what's the word for it? Maybe rustic. That's the right word. I know there's some concerns about these windows here. So if we took out a window like that, it still works in the mudroom. So if you needed to do something like that, I don't see any problem taking one window out of here. Certainly there's still going to be so much view, so much light. Because I imagine still we're going to get to keep this as a glassy patio door, right? This is great. So don't feel too bad about wanting to take that window out. Let me know how you feel about it. I do think, as per the original design, if you're really going to be spending time in here working, I would want more window. I'm a big fan of sitting at windows and looking out, especially when you've got a relatively attractive view to look out at them too. If one of you is sitting right here working, and the other of you is sitting at the dining room table of the ADU, I could see waving across the courtyard being a cute little thing. But maybe that's just the romantic end. Love this back view. Really happy with that. This covered porch, I'm very proud of it. It doesn't have to be brick. I know there's a concern about adding materials, but again, I think I probably wouldn't have thought to make it brick if it weren't for your request to include the brick and bluestone paving, which I love. I love this brick and bluestone paving. And when I made this piece and I was looking at it next to the honey-colored siding, I was like, nah, that's not right. Let's try it in brick, and I just fell in love with it. Then I introduced these arches, which I fully expect you to love, but maybe you won't. But oh my gosh, I love it. I think this is such a very awesome place. I would love to hang out here. I was tempted. I actually tried to make a pizza oven, like one of those wood-burning pizza ovens, fit in here somehow, but I felt like it was just interfering a little too much with wanting to have these drop-down screens. So with the drop-down screens, I'd say no pizza oven incorporated here. But if you change your mind on those pizza screens, the insect screens, those drop-down screens, well then, let's talk about maybe getting a pizza oven in right here, or right here, directly across from the fireplace. How awesome would that be? But I love this little brick veneered spot, this little outdoor spot. What an awesome restaurant. Outdoor dining space. I say restaurant, but it feels like an awesome restaurant. Nice outdoor dining space, some integrated heaters or a fan above, plenty of natural light. That I don't feel like this covered porch element is going to block too much access of your natural light. Certainly some, that's the price you pay to have this awesome covered space that's going to be free from insects when the screens are down. Still plenty of view of the canopy around here. So awesome. And I know there's concerns about this area. Again, I really do. I don't feel worried about this spot. It's big enough that it feels intentional to me. We've got elements that, though they're not directly related, like this bathroom window is not directly related to this porch element. I shifted the window over so that it's centered on the arch. So it still feels like it's an excellent composition, in my opinion. Though the two spaces aren't meant to, necessarily directly relate to each other. And I do like the way these shed dormers relate. When we've got these doors in the closed position, we've got these 3 high windows spaced about centered on this very large, very special 3-panel pocket slider. So in the day-to-day, when this thing is closed up, I love this composition. And though I didn't initially start off with the 4 skylights, I think the compromise of going with 4 of them and centering a fan here for you is totally fine. I've got to get rid of some of the standing seam wires here, but this is just a very excellent view, a very excellent space. Drop those screens down, open these up, and this is just another extension of the house. You've got this quick indoor-outdoor door right here to get in and out without having to drop the screens down. Pop in like this. So awesome. Let me know how you feel about the new master suite window and door design. Omitting these side windows here and just going with these 2 sort of pentagonal compositions with those arrows at the top. I think it's great. But let me know how you feel about, remember we talked about this back window. When we look at the composition of this wall, this is the perpendicular wall from the outside, so it's a bit messy, but I could see omitting the window. If you don't want these long views from inside the house coming into the bedroom, and if you don't want to have to worry about the composition of your art, mirrors, pictures, what have you, along this back wall, maybe we omit this one window. For now, let's keep it. Or for now, I've kept it, but I want to hear your thoughts. I'm looking forward to getting going with your landscape architect. As soon as you bring them on board, I'll get to work with them, taking what I'm showing here is really, really basic to the next level for you guys, with their help, of course. Thank you, guys.